I'm Carolyn Taylor, and I'm the Member Relations Manager for CPHR BC and Yukon, and I'm responsible for the Vancouver Island region.
Hi, Carolyn. I'm Denise. Denise Lloyd with Engaged HR. And Engaged HR, for those of you who don't know, is a human resources consulting firm here in Victoria that my partner, Ari Epstein, and I founded in 2011, and we're heading into our 10th year. Engaged HR works with small business and nonprofits to provide all HR services related to creating a great place to work. And I'm honored to have an office downtown Victoria and also to live downtown Victoria, where we are on the traditional lands of the Esquimalt and Songhees nations, and just honored to be able to live and work in such a beautiful place. So thanks for having me today.
Thanks, Denise. That's awesome. Tell me about why you're a member of CPHR BC and Yukon.
Well, that we could take all our time to talk about that, but I won't. I'll just say that as someone who's been in the HR profession for a very, very long time, I really appreciate both, well, a number of things, but the two most important, one would be obviously the sense of community. I resonate so strongly with the human resources profession and love all the people that work in it. And the membership with CPHR just allows me so much opportunity to connect with people. So that's my number one. And of course, I'm a huge fan of the designation. And so being able to support my profession by being designated is also really important to me.
And you have the distinguished FCPHR. So you
I
are,
do.
yeah.
Yeah, so was honored with that designation in 2018, which just further entrenched me in the belief of the value of the profession and the value of the CPHR designation.
100%. Tell me
Mm.
what your favorite quote is and who said it.
Well, I don't actually know who originated this saying, but over the last year, this saying has been said to me and by me in our organization many, many, many times, particularly at the time of the pandemic when it first hit and we were having to respond to things so quickly. And that quote is that perfection is the enemy of done. And we were trying so hard to be so responsive that we had to let go of perfection, especially because things changed by the minute, and what was perfect one minute might not be perfect the next. And so that became our mantra in a lot of ways. But I don't know who coined it. It might even have been someone within our team, but it really became so important to us to remember that. And I haven't let that go because it resonates so strongly.
I think it's an important thing to remember in life and in work, for
So
sure.
true. So true.
What inspires you the most, Denise, about the HR profession?
Um, if you'd asked me, this is going to be a theme throughout this conversation around what the pandemic has done for everyone. But certainly within the field of HR, the last year has inspired me around how the HR profession and the people in it are able to use the overused term of pivot, but just also the resilience that I see in our profession is so high, and people's ability to step outside themselves and support others in a way that helps them continue their working lives in a meaningful way is so profound. I find people are really able to step out of themselves, and it's not about them and it's about other people, and the resilience to be able to do that is really strong, and I've seen that in measurable number of ways over the last year.
Yeah, HR has definitely been leading the way in so many different things within organizations. So I
Yeah,
appreciate
so
you
true.
saying that. Yeah. If you weren't an HR professional, though, what would you have chosen? What would your career have been?
Right. Well, the easy answer, but well, you never know, might happen someday, is I would be a philanthropist, which is basically I get to go around and just give money to people and let them do the best things they possibly can in the world with that money. And I would love to be able to have that kind of abundance where my job every day was to just pick amazing organizations and give them funds to do amazing work. So that would fill me up like an unbelievable, it would be so awesome. So that's my dream job. Yeah.
Yeah. And you do a little bit of that within your company. You have your Engaged for Good. So can you tell me a little bit about
Mhm.
that?
Yeah, so my history and my background is in nonprofit organizations and being in leadership positions in nonprofit. And I'm very, very well aware of the fact that nonprofit organizations are constantly wanting to put all their resources into serving their clients and doing the good work that they do and serve the population that they serve. And what happens is that often means that the people inside the organization doing the good work of the organization don't always have the same opportunity for good HR practices and for HR to be an investment that's often made. And so we would talk to lots of nonprofits that didn't have opportunity to use our services because they couldn't afford it. So we wanted to create a program where we were able to support a nonprofit organization with pro bono services so that they could invest in the HR side of their business, because they have staff that they want to recognize and support and encourage and have all the good things that HR does for organizations. And we wanted to just provide a small part of that. And so we did that for a number of years. And then this year we have shifted that a little bit because of the way the world has changed. And we are offering scholarships to 2 individuals who work in nonprofits with the courses to take our certificate in the art of HR so that we can empower people to take that work back into organizations with really good HR practice. So we're actually doing 2 scholarships for that this year over the course of 2021. So hope to see and have seen, we have over 50 applications for that scholarship award. So 2 lucky people will be in our courses this year, which is awesome.
That's amazing. And my love of philanthropy is strong as well. So I really appreciate that about the work that you do and about you.
Yeah, thank you.
What do you see as the greatest emerging challenge or opportunity for the HR profession today?
I'm sounding like a broken record. The pandemic, but one of the things I said before, like pre-pandemic, I had been saying for a very long time as we navigated a very tight labor market and the workplace itself, is that HR was finally getting a seat at the table that we had been begging for decades, and that in fact we weren't only getting a seat at the table, we were the popular kid that everyone wanted to sit beside because we had all the answers apparently to retention and to how to keep people happy and how to keep people at work and how to find people who don't come and apply naturally to your opportunity. So we were the ones that everyone wanted to hang out with. And then the pandemic hit, and what I've seen over the last year is how much people are starting to recognize that HR is sometimes very hard, and that HR takes expertise and it takes focus and it takes real effort, and it isn't something, it is just being nice to people and thinking about the people side. And there is some real expertise that sits within the HR profession, and people are really seeing that and acknowledging it and valuing it, which is just so awesome. And so as a result, that is such an opportunity for us to continue to do our good work and to continue to support organizations in a way that they haven't seen before. It's also an opportunity to get really innovative and to be really creative, because the answers to how we look after a pandemic, nobody actually has them. As much as some people will say they do, we don't have the answers, but we do have the knowledge and the expertise to create the answer and to create the innovation and creativity that it's going to take to meet the needs of today's workplace, because it's a very different workplace than it has ever been in any of our lifetimes. And so this is the time to take risks and to show how innovative we can be to meet the needs of a very different world than we had a year ago. So it's a wild time, but it's also very, very exciting.
It is exciting, and I think it also speaks to the designation and the professionalism of the profession with having the CPHR designation as well.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. And this might be the same answer, but what milestone or challenge has defined the past year for you?
The of course, talking about the pandemic and looking at milestones and challenges, one of the things that I really appreciated and still appreciate about the impact of the pandemic is a little bit about what I talked about in terms of nobody has the answers. And so what that has meant is that it has been what I call the great equalizer, in that they're not. There are no gurus anymore. There are no experts in the moment of today. There are, of course, in the big picture of HR, but in the moment of you've got an individual in your office that has an issue that is related to childcare because school's online or whatever kind of situation you might have, you are the expert in that moment. And so what I've learned over the last year, and that the milestones we've gone through over the last year, has been really validating about what we do know and what we can do. And any one of us has the answer. We all internally have the answers as HR professionals. And so it has really brought that sense of trust to what you know and trust to what you can do, and confidence to what you can do, because you do have the answers. You just have to just pause and think about it and go to what you know, which is the work of the profession, and rely on that. Because while everything has changed and everything is different, we are still people working with people. And so go back to the basics of what's in the best interest of the person in front of you, because everybody has their own story, and it's time for us to pay attention to those individual stories. Everybody is equal from an equalizing point of view, and that we all have answers, but everyone is also an individual. And so we have to think individually as much as we think about the collective. So it's been really interesting to work our way through all of that, and to start to see that with more clarity now than 7 months ago or 9 months ago, when things were first in such a sense of chaos.
Mhm. Yeah. And I think this loops back to the first question that I asked, and the answer that you gave is that if you personally don't have the answers, by belonging to a professional association with all of
Mhm.
the connections and community and networking that I know that you do, you can always reach out to somebody that you've met and ask what their opinion is, because we
Mhm.
can draw on the experts that we know as well as draw on our own internal resources. So that's, to
Yeah.
me, a big benefit of the association and membership.
Well, and I mean, to your point, if you look at if you look at the term of equalizing, the field of where the answers are coming from, the one of the best benefits of the pandemic has done for my connection to my association has been that I can attend events all over the place. I can access people from everywhere, and if there's something amazing going on in a different region that I want to participate in, I can do that now, and I couldn't have done that before. And each region no longer has to try and be the be all and end all to its region. It can really focus on what do we need as a region, and not try and do everything, because other regions are doing things that we can participate in. And so it has really allowed some really great like specialization within the regions of areas that best suit the needs of that region, but also has just opened up so much opportunity for the kinds of people you're going to meet, the kinds of conversations you're going to have, the kind of access to professional development, and just so much that we never had before, strictly because it meant travel and the geography and all that. And so, yeah, there's so many benefits to where we've come from and where we are now, that we all thought it was never possible, that there was no way we could do all of this online, and we're proving that that's actually not true. We can completely do it online, and in fact, there's a huge amount of benefits to doing it online. So I just think from a CPHR BC and Yukon point of view, like from our membership value point of view, it's just like become exponential because of so many different ways we can connect for whatever we as individuals are needing at the time. So yeah, I just think it's awesome.
Thank you. Yeah, we've worked hard to be really relevant and to be on top of all of that right from the very beginning. So I appreciate
Mhm.
you recognize that as a member and as a long-term member. You've been with us for a few years.
Decades, years, take your pick.
Well,
I
thank
appreciate you
you.
not outing me on that.
Yeah. Thank you so much for your time today, Denise, and really appreciate everything that you do for the region, for the profession, and for the association. Thanks again.
Well, thanks for asking. I appreciate it.